Optimus.
Autobot. That's good.
Is there an echo?
Hello and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to sit around and talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. I am one of your hosts, Ryan. Joining me today is TJ.
Hello, it's TJ.
And Bill.
Hey, everybody.
How are you guys doing? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was good. You know what sucks about New Year's Day is that it's the Sunday of the holiday season.
New Year's Day is the Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of New Year's Day, you're like, oh, I have off, but tomorrow...
Back to normal.
It's completely back to normal.
Except for the fact that we have a short week now. So it's almost like next Monday is going to really suck.
Yeah, but you know how Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, you're like, oh, we still have New Year's next week? So
yeah, we've got nothing for a while now.
No, it sucks. I hate New Year's Day. I hate it.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas?
Good. Sorry. Really good. Had a good time. You guys both had an Invincible-related Christmas thing happen to you. Both, Bill, you got a gift.
I did? Oh, yeah, I did. Which I posted on the Twitter, I think,
Twitter.
right?
You did post it on the Twitter.
Yep, so a friend got me a pocket watch, and then it's the Viltrum symbol engraved on the front, and then it's the...
Canslock.
Yeah, on the back.
It was really cool.
Really cool.
I like.
What was your gift?
I don't know.
You didn't get one. You gave one.
That's right. So my nephew, who's is about to turn 16 years old. He's long overdue to read the first. I got him the first.
I'm actually
hardcover.
surprised. First of all, in how old he is, because damn, that happened.
Yeah.
He does look like an old man, bro.
That's weird. It's so weird. I remember him being like a baby.
What's the thing he always used to say?
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm also surprised that he hasn't. And what age? You know what I mean? Like I guess 16 is a good age for him to really appreciate it. Because I mean, how
he loves like everybody nowadays. He loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he watches all the DC movies and stuff like that. But he's not a big reader, like a comic book reader at all. So I'm hoping he reads it. He hasn't told me he started it yet or not.
Yeah.
So I'll follow back up with him.
Yeah,
soon
I want to know what he
going
thinks.
on.
That's interesting.
Did you get him the hardcover?
Yeah, the
first
hardcover.
Cool.
I love the hardcovers. That's a good call. So yeah, we are talking today all about. We're going to do a little bit of something different here. We're going to talk about kind of 2018 in review. Talk about all the things that happened Invincible related last year. Look back on some of the news and the announcements, and a little bit about the podcast.
All the announcements.
All the announcements.
No.
Wow, can you tell we've already recorded a podcast for 2 hours?
Announcements. That was a good one.
If you want to be a part of the show, why? But you can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. You can go to our website where we have kind of behind the scenes, details about each and every episode, and hopefully more soon, someday. And the website is theinvinciblepodcast.com. We are also the guys.
Start adding stuff to that.
I know we do. We really do. I was talking to somebody on Twitter today about working on the timeline and chronological reading order and stuff like that, just to build it up.
Yeah.
We are also the guys that do the Oblivion Song podcast. Kick it over to TJ. TJ, tell me.
We are the Oblivion Song podcast. Our episode comes out the following Friday of every week that a new issue is released.
Whoa.
So it comes out on a
I
Wednesday.
think there's an easier way to say
The
it.
Friday after the comic's released.
The Friday after the new issue is released. It's always released on a Wednesday. If a new issue is released, then our new episode is coming out 2 days later, which would be that Friday. So our next episode, I want to say it's the 14th.
2 Fridays from now?
Yes. I want to say it's the
I feel like
14th.
it's been a while.
It does.
Really? I feel like we just did
Really?
it. Yeah.
No, I think because the holidays have been in between, it feels like forever since we've recorded.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. I'm excited to see where that's going. We
it's
because
getting good.
because last issue, I'm trying to think of what happened. Because I remember 2 issues ago was crazy, and then last issue was like, okay, we knew this, but next one.
They didn't, like, it was the...
Oh, yeah,
like
thing
the
happened.
transference,
Yeah.
The
Good stuff. Read Oblivion Song. We just got done recording with Sean and Chelsea over at the Pop Love podcast. We did a whole episode with them, and that episode is going to be going live this Monday. So if you're hearing this when this episode released in a few days, you can find it. So yeah, Pop Love podcast. We talked all about Invincible. They kind of did they did a whole like retrospective, like talking about favorite parts, favorite characters, just memories from it. And Sean is a big fan of the series, and he's got some really great stories about it too. So we had a really fun conversation. Check that out. I might include a clip right here. If not, I'm going to cut me out saying this. Otherwise, here's a clip of us talking. What was it like for you just now reading it? You know, I mean, you started it when it was over. So,
yeah.
I mean...
Well, I started it, like...
I think just as the last issues were announced, you started it.
Well, I remember when I started reading it, like, Volume 11 was coming out.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I bought Volume 11.
Oh, yeah, you bought me Volume 11.
But, yeah, I started reading it. Oh, my God. I fell in love with it. It was so good. Just the twist, though, of the beginning kind of just...
Oh, yeah, we can spoil. I don't know. I forgot to tell you guys, we do spoil it, usually. It's...
All right,
Yeah,
so
it's like...
from at this point on, if you haven't read Invincible and you're listening to this, go check it out, come back and listen to the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't you hijack my podcast.
Yeah, so when it's... Oh, man. I don't know. A lot of it just broke my heart. And then, like, reading it recently towards the end, because I sped read through the last couple ones, it was just, like, so emotional for me to read. And I was like, how is this happening right now?
Yeah, it feels like it's breaking all the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, too, whenever we would read it, or you were reading it next to me and I was doing something else, whatever, you'd just be like, what? Oh my god, fuck you. You just look up at me and just, like,
There was
really
a lot
angry.
of, like, yeah, there's a lot of me reading it and being like, fuck you.
Mad that I made you read these horrible dramatic twists.
Hey, it's really well written. I love Ryan Ottley's work now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to read more of his stuff, too.
Oh, like Grizzly Shark, was it?
Yes.
Grizzly Shark was awesome.
It's really good.
Did you guys read the last one that he actually wrote, the last 3?
I haven't read it yet.
No, we actually haven't gotten a chance
There was
to
3
pick
of
up
them,
more.
right, that he did? The little short that he did? They were actually really hilarious. Like, I can't remember the last time that I laughed out loud reading something, and every single page is hilarious.
It's so funny.
You just got to go into it knowing that it's
it's a
Grizzly
fucking
Shark.
joke, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, there's a part where the shark and the bear are fighting. Like, there's sea bear.
Grizzly Shark versus Sea Bear.
Yeah, it's Grizzly Shark versus sea bear.
Bill has a tendency when you haven't read something to ruin the best
I'm
parts
gonna
of the
ruin
comic.
one part.
You are notorious.
Let's get into a couple news items, which there wasn't much, but still a couple newsworthy things to throw on here. Skybound.com did a Science Dog write-up right before we started recording. Bill and I, we were just talking about how we missed Science Dog and how good that story was. Sally Jacko over at Skybound did like just a little character, like who is Science Dog, and talked about who he is and, you know, a little blurb about him.
I saw that on Twitter, in case you're wondering who Science Dog is or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool, just something. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning is our friend and fellow Invincible fan, Wyatt Layne, has released his full album over on iTunes, Apple Music, and you can even get it on Spotify. We feature a lot of his music on our podcast.
Probably his entire album.
We're getting pretty close, yeah. We also use it on Oblivion Song, and he's just a super awesome, generous guy, and we just wanted to give that a shout out because it's worth mentioning, and everybody should go buy his album because why not? And supporting other Invincible fans is awesome. Other than that, kind of the main topic now is looking back at 2018 and things that have happened. It was kind of hard to believe this. It feels like, to me, like how long it's been since the final issue came out. So last January, we were releasing episodes about like final issue predictions, like our final episode.
We each wrote our own ending to the
we
story.
wrote like endings, and we and we did a whole episode all about the Terra cover, because in January they released the Terra variant. TJ wasn't able to be on that one, and we just did a whole episode talking about what the hell does this mean? Like, it's her grown up, she's wearing this costume, like we didn't know anything about it. But in January, that was when it was supposed to be released. The final issue didn't end up releasing in January. It got delayed 2 times. And kept getting
the first
pumped.
week of February, and then like it was
And then
the last week of February.
So that was January. February last year was when the Fist image was released. Remember Ottley posted a picture on Twitter of Invincible's Fist,
which was the compendium, right?
It ended up being the compendium.
The final compendium, yeah.
And that was before the final issue, because we were theorizing that was a page or an image from the final issue for a while there. Yeah. And then we were thinking, maybe is it for a book? Is it for a spin-off? Is it for something? I thought that
it was after it was released. And
it was after it was released.
Because that was like, what the fuck? Why is he doing more art for it?
You think?
Yeah, it was after. 100% it was
because
after.
To make this list, I was going through our Twitter feed, and then after we read the issue, I posted that Fist again and said, so about this, it wasn't in the final issue, so where was it?
You're right.
Maybe.
You're right, actually.
But then we probably went on to think, what could it be for?
Afterwards, yeah. No, you're 1,000% right.
But then, the final issue was released. What did you do when the final issue was released? Do you remember that day? What it was like?
Yeah, I do.
What did you do?
I worked like an 18-hour day, and I couldn't, and I didn't get any break, so I couldn't read it on break or anything. So it was like 7:00 at night, and I think we were gonna hang out that night or something. Like I literally went. I think we were recording that night. Were we recording?
Did we record that night?
We were all...
No. It was. We found out that night that we were recording with him like the next day or something.
Yeah,
we were all going to. I think we were gonna read it together. And then that felt like we couldn't wait.
I was going somewhere though, and I thought I was meeting you guys up for something, but it wasn't until like 6:30, 7:00 at night till I actually made it to my comic book shop, because I wanted to read the actual
physical.
If I was at work or something and I had gotten a break, I probably would have read it. But I was already out of work, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna read the physical version. So I went and I bought it. I went out to my car and I just read it right there in my car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went to a comic book shop because my comic book shop is not open on Wednesdays, which is blasphemy. So I had to go to a different comic book shop and picked it up, came home, and I actually set up the camera and filmed myself reading it. Mm-hmm. And
nerd.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I have this reaction, this one image of me reacting to the Angstrom page, because I remember getting to the Angstrom page and seeing that portal open up and be like, what the... But yeah, I remember the internet blowing up, and just like a lot of people talking about it, like people that you didn't know read Invincible, and there was just a lot of Invincible love going around, and other artists and other writers, and just a lot of people talking about it and sharing their stories and how they found it and everything like that, and it was just great. And then it came out on a Wednesday, and then Thursday we found out Kirkman messaged us and said, hey, when are you guys recording next?
Yeah.
We're like, tomorrow?
I don't anymore, but I used to get notifications anytime like Invincible Podcast would our Twitter would post anything, like anytime Ryan would post anything. And I got something of like the reply of Kirkman. So I just opened it up thinking that he was just replying to somebody else. Yeah. And he was like, when do you guys record? And
you like scroll up and you
screenshotted it. I screenshotted it and I sent it to both of you guys. And I'm like, Ryan, like,
I didn't have my
reply.
Yeah, I didn't have my phone on.
And then me and Bill were just blowing him up, like texting him like, Ryan, respond, like what's going on?
Oh my god.
And then I ended up calling you and you picked up the phone and you were like, why is my phone blowing up? Because it was like 10:30 at night.
Yeah, I don't know why I was
like, you were just passed out.
I don't know.
No, yeah, it was the kind of thing, because I was in the tub, like we all know the story. Like I was relaxing. It was the end of the night, and then all of a sudden, my phone. It's like imagine music and candles and just the back of my head touching the water, and then me looking at my phone and being like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden the day started again. Like
dude,
It had ended.
So awake.
And then all of a sudden, I was awake. I was like, I had a towel wrapped around me half. I'm like, listen, the fucking this and this. And
then you guys are like texting. You guys are like texting me, like, what is he saying? What is he saying? What is this? What's this? And he's like, oh, we're DMing now. So now I'm telling you guys what he's saying. And it's like, dude, I was so like, I was like shaking and like pacing around the house, and that was incredible. That was such a great moment, and that on top of the final issue, and
that day though was a total nightmare.
that was so bad.
Just leading up to recording with him.
So that
just
was
like,
Thursday. That was
the
Wednesday night,
nerves
and then we were recording with him Thursday after work.
Yeah.
So we had to go to work. I left work early. Like we're like, okay, make lists, think of questions,
Yeah.
or figure out how we're gonna start. How are we gonna make this flow?
Our group text between the three of us that day was just ridiculous.
I think we should go back and try and find it,
ridiculous.
because I think it was just a lot of freaking out.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my, like, yeah.
Make sure you bring this up and don't say this. And
Yeah,
just
don't
ask
do
him
this,
and-
dude. Oh my gosh. And then issue 50. So, or I'm sorry, not only like that was our 50th episode. So a pretty monumental episode in itself that it's the final issue. But then having Kirkman, and then we had like, God, I don't even remember how many call-ins. Remember we had all
we had a bunch of people,
all the
give their final
individual
take.
finals fan spotlights. We had a bunch of people call in and leave us voicemails and everything. Like that was so cool. That episode is like 3.5 hours long though.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Oh, it's so good. That was a blast. A year later, I mean, no, we'll talk about that next month actually, because next month will be a year from the final issue. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about the final issue next episode. That month was also the release of the reveal of the Adam Eve figure, which
We saw.
we
He
saw a
revealed
week
to us
early.
on the podcast.
Which I think we would have had.
that we Skyped with him.
Yeah, which I think we would have had like locked down had we not, like, or Kirkman even said like, oh, we got the variant with the robot arm or the robot leg. Otherwise, nobody would have known. But I think because he said robot leg, people were like, so that was Adam Eve, right? Because otherwise, nobody would have known. And man, funny story. We would have had the video of us talking with him, but we accidentally recorded just the audio. Otherwise, we would have video from that conversation.
My
that we
biggest
missed out on.
regret of that interview was the fact that there was somebody else in that room with him, and I feel like it was Corey Walker.
I don't.
I should have asked.
I know. I bet it was Sean Makowitz.
Yeah, but he was at home. He looked
Oh,
like
he
was
wasn't at home. Wasn't he at his office?
I don't know. He was in between meetings, but I looked like he was at home.
It looked like he was at home, and we all know that Corey Walker lives with Robert Kirkman, and
they just hang out all day and have so
that's
much fun.
all they do is they just swing. They have a swing set in their living room.
When you said swing, I didn't think that that's what you.
Oh, I meant like swing on a swing set. TJ.
Then like 2 days later, or like the next day, we got on a plane and went to Florida, to Disney World for a week.
Yeah.
So that was a really intense week for us. And while we're in Disney World, in Animal Kingdom, the final artwork went live on Felix's site.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to buy original artwork in Disney World.
Didn't you spend like $1,500?
I spent a lot of money. I bought 2 pages. I bought. So it was really weird because it was quick, and you had to be quick.
Oh,
and,
man, they went
like,
so
the internet
fast.
was like acting up because we were just in the middle of Disney World. So I wanted the one with Kid Invincible, you know, doing his barrel roll. That like it was a second, like the first page you see him is like the huge splash page, and that was going for $2,500. Yeah, that's a little out of my price range. And then the page after that was him like flying in the air, looking down, seeing something, and then doing his barrel roll. I ended up getting that page, but I wasn't sure if I actually got it or not. And I was like, fuck, like, I don't know if I got it or not. I definitely want a page from the last issue. So I went and I got another page, which is in the beginning of the issue with, you know, Mark and Debbie talking, and Marky is on the ground playing with his toys, watching TV.
He's playing with a science dog toy, right?
Yeah, I think it's
missing
science
an
dog,
arm.
yeah. So I got that too. So I ended up getting 2 pages from the final issue.
Yeah. The page I wanted most was Ottley's final. And it was such a beautiful page of Marky at the tombstone, looking
and it
up
had
at the
end,
stars. And it
the
said
end.
the end on the bottom. But it was just out of my price range, and I couldn't justify it. But I mean, I've since seen the guy, the Invincible fan who owns it on Twitter, and that's awesome that he got it. But I got I'll say it, the cheapest one that there was, which was just the repeating panels.
Of Marky being told,
yeah, you're an alien. You're, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah. So February was a pretty packed month. March, we got the Marky and Tara pins added to the merch pile. And we found out that Ryan Ottley was drawing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Either of you kept up on that?
No.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I read the first trade pretty much, and that was it. And as soon as the artist changed over, I stopped reading.
Well, he's back at it again.
Now he's back at it again.
They're going back and forth.
Yeah.
Because they're coming out with 2 issues a month, so.
Mm-hmm. I've just been behind on comics in general, but.
Yeah. I want to catch up.
That's when the Adam Eve Mega Box was released,
Yep.
which included the Adam Eve action figure with the variants and stuff, and she was on the cover of it. That is also in March when we launched the Believe in Song podcast.
Yes, it was.
So that is actually getting close to its 1 year. Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, we talked about it last episode of
Did we?
Oblivion
That's
Song,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only 2 more
Man.
episodes, and then we'll be recording the
Doesn't it seem
1
like
year.
we're still like just in the
Just starting it.
in the
Just figuring out how to podcast.
yeah.
I just bit my tongue. That's ironic. Damn. April, we saw Compendium 3 revealed, which was the
The Fist.
realization that the Fist was for the Compendium.
Yeah.
And then nothing till June, when I am thousands of miles away on my honeymoon in southern France, and I get an alert on my phone that Invincible is being turned into an animated series. And everything blew up again. Do you remember, like, what was it? It was like a week or so before. We got an email from Riley.
It was on I think the Oblivion Song podcast that you were talking about. You're like, guys,
Something's happening.
something's happening.
Because we got an email from a listener named Riley, and they said that they included a link to an Amazon article, and the
That
Amazon
listed-
article said, like, oh, these are all the different shows we're going to be doing. We've got this show, an Invincible animated show, or something like that. And it was like, wait, what? And this was like paragraphs.
Yeah, and it was just like one word in like the middle of this paragraph,
Yeah.
and then it didn't say anything
And
about it
nothing
again.
else.
Yeah,
And it was like, so I didn't want to like start telling people,
Mm-hmm.
because one, that like kind of ruins their surprise, and two, it's like, what if we're wrong? Like, what if this was,
turns out we weren't wrong.
yeah, this,
And that same week, right before it got released, an artist that I became friends with at Nickel City Con, I met this artist, and he was a big Invincible fan, and we talked for like an hour at the con just about like he didn't care for the ending, and we were going back about different stuff, and he friend requested me on Instagram, so we started following each other, and then he sent me a link to this guy who did an animated Omni-Man and an animated Invincible, and it looked like a TV show. It was like a computer screen, and then we didn't think anything of it. I literally commented, and I was like, that looks like something like a perfect animate if they ever did an animated series. The very next week they released that they are doing an animated series, and that guy who posted it is working on it.
Yeah.
But he since then said that it's not
he since then removed it and said that it is not from the show, which I honestly believe,
And
but
he's
I
not
think
an
that
animator.
I mean it's not. He does.
He's an
animator.
A storyboard
he
is an animator.
He is an animator, but
but he's the director.
Animator.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
He's
I believe
the
that it's
storyboard
not,
director.
I believe that it's not that what we saw, what he posted was not officially what is in
Yeah,
Invincible,
yeah.
But,
But
he
it's-
did that because
he was
he was
in
probably
he was
storyboarding.
thinking about it.
Like,
he was working
drawing
on it. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so cool.
It's cool that we saw that a week before
Yeah.
it was actually announced.
Then that same month, hardcover volume 12 was released, the final hardcover, which is awesome because I have the my sketch covers in there, and I had never had any other artwork featured in any other books. TJ, you have art in
His art book,
in
his own
Violence and Pigtails.
Pigtails, yeah, of my Joker that he
Do you
did for
have
me.
any of all these other art books?
Yeah, I have the first one.
You have Violence and Piggybacks?
I have the small
or-
it's like a
Pinwheels?
pamphlet.
Because there's Violence and Pinwheels, Violence and Piggybacks, It might be just be those two.
But
they're hard to get. The first one's yeah, that's what I mean. And then Violence and Pigtails.
Yeah.
Pinwheels and Piggybacks.
Yeah.
I think.
I can't remember which. I know which one I have. It's got a picture. It's like
it's green,
like a cream
right?
color. No, it's like a cream
Oh
color.
yeah, They Bite. No, we have They Bite.
Yes.
There's other ones that are older that are really hard to get. And then in July, that's when Ottley's Spider-Man issue was released. It's been cool seeing how, especially early on, he had a lot of Invincible Easter eggs in there. Also in July, we had San Diego Comic-Con and Kirkman talking a little bit about the movie and the show and kind of just giving the general update about it's coming along nicely. He's in constant talks with Seth Rogen and everybody. In July, we also had the release of Compendium 3. And in August of this year, we announced that we were changing the podcast up to be monthly. How do you guys feel that we've been doing this since August? So that's August, September, October, November. This is our 6th episode. No, actually, because we announced it, but we didn't start. So this is like our 5th or so monthly episode. How do you feel about doing this podcast monthly now?
I think it works better because we're also doing the Oblivion Song podcast. It's better for us. Otherwise, we'd be recording all the time.
Yeah,
and some podcasts do that, but
can you imagine? I mean, a lot of podcasts are weekly.
Most of them are.
Yeah,
I feel.
I don't think it works better because of that reason. I think it works better just because of the amount of content. That we have, you know. And,
you're right.
And God darn it, like, can we please get some fucking movie news or something?
He said,
I know, getting that
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So continue. We'll talk about it.
That's when we released the website. We started doing our reread, and every month we were going to be rereading the entire series together. September, Skybound partnered with a company called Sky to do narrative mobile games. So far, nothing on that front, but there's that whole thing that happened. That month, we also got some teases on Twitter from Chris Copeland and Laura Innes, the two people that we know working on the animated series. Just teases saying that, like, wait till you guys see this. It's going to blow you away. This is amazing, blah, 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 which is exciting. October, TJ went to New York Comic Con.
I did.
That is when Kirkman said, as far as the movie, quote, hear things soon.
He said, I don't know if I can tell you this yet.
You will hear
but
things
you are going to
soon.
hear things very soon. So
that was what month?
First week of October.
First week of October,
and now it's January.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's going to come on a random
What's your
Tuesday.
definition of
it's
soon?
always Tuesday, and it's going to be random.
Well, if it's always Tuesday, wouldn't it be random then?
It's going to be a random Tuesday.
It can't be a random Tuesday if you call every Tuesday.
No, if I say it was a random day that's on a Tuesday, that's incorrect. But if I were to say it's a random Tuesday, then it could be any Tuesday.
Not the first Tuesday, not the last Tuesday. It's just a random one.
But it could be the first Tuesday.
It could be a random Tuesday of any month.
But you have too much information. It can't be random if you have too much information.
So I'll get to this in a second. November was the Lucca convention in Italy, where Ottley,
they all got together.
Walker, and Kirkman all got together, which was cool, seeing them all together. And that brings us to December, where we had the Science Dog write-up over on Skybound.com. But other than that, that's it. That's it. I'm going to go into it right now. What do you guys think of 2019 going forward? This is our moment, the beginning of the year. New Year's was yesterday.
Today is January 1st.
Yep.
When we're recording.
Yep. So
we're not going to get
what
much.
is 2019 going to be for Invincible?
I feel like I've learned in the past about making predictions.
Yeah.
And we always think we're going to get more than we're going to get. I think that we're going to get
thinking about what we got last year, other than the end of the series.
We're going to get some movie news. We're going to get maybe a couple castings.
You think by this time next year, in the year 2019, there will be some casting?
I think by this time next year, we will know who's playing Invincible.
This time next year would be next year. What do you mean? Like,
yeah, right.
So 2020?
Yeah, by January 1st, 2020.
Okay.
So I think that we will know.
Not this time this year.
Okay, that's what I was like, what are you talking about?
We will know. I feel like we got to come back to this episode for
That's why I'm doing it, because it's
we will know what season the animated series will be released, but we won't have an actual date. It'll be
Oh,
fall
all
of
right.
2020. But
right.
we won't know like September or whatever. We won't know.
All right,
a
well, then
date.
let's categorize this. All
Okay,
three
are you
of
ready?
us.
Are you
Animated
ready?
series only. What are we going to, this time next year, where is the animated series going to
Okay.
be? TJ?
We'll know. I think they're just gonna know. We're just gonna know the season of when it's gonna be released. I don't even know if we're gonna know any voice actors.
Wow.
Actually, know that. We will. We'll know some voice actors. We'll know some voice actors, and we'll know the season that it's gonna get released. And we'll have seen art from it.
I think that this year, I think this summer we're gonna get huge news. Like, here's a trailer, and then it will be released
In the fall?
this winter or fall.
Winter.
So you're saying exactly what I said.
No,
I
he's
think
saying
it's gonna
released
come out
in the winter.
2019. I think it's coming out this year. The show.
That's not what you said. You said we'll just get a release season,
Because think
right?
about it. Think about it in
So
like
if
in
you're
terms.
saying-
Whoa, sir.
If you're
Captain
saying it's coming
interrupted.
out-
God, TJ.
If you're saying it's coming out in 2019, then you're saying that we have already seen it.
What? No.
Because it's 2019 now.
Right.
1 year from now will be 2020.
Oh yeah, we'll have already seen it.
Okay.
We have our review
So
posted.
classifying that.
Oh, yeah.
Clarifying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So think about it in terms of like Castlevania. Like when they announced that Castlevania is coming out with season 2, and then here's a trailer. It fucking came out like the next month.
So Bill, you're saying trailer this summer, released this winter,
If even that far away,
2019.
we're gonna have the animated show this year, 2019.
So-
I'm going to say a little bit different than Bill. I'm going to say bump everything Bill's saying by like 3 or 4 months. I'm going to say trailer, announcements, New York Comic Con timeframe, and a release of the series in spring of 2020.
Okay. And TJ thinks that we won't have.
No, we'll,
Does that
we'll,
count?
You'll
we'll
just have a season, yeah, which
no,
could be
I
spring.
think we'll have a trailer. I think we'll know the voice actors, and then they'll tell us just the season.
you
that it's gonna be
think? Do we
released.
all agree that we'll probably see it in motion in some form, not just an image?
in
from it?
2019?
1000%, yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna be so wrong.
I want to time travel though, and Ryan, you can cut this out and paste it in our 2020
January episode.
where I say to Bill, "I fucking told you, you're a fucking idiot. You think that we're gonna see." Or sorry, I have to speak past tense. You thought that we were gonna see the entire animated series
before this time.
before, like now?
I'm confused.
It's 2020.
Are you Ray?
No way.
Are you Ray Bradbury, and are you in Slaughterhouse 51 right now? Or
I don't know what
15?
any of that is.
It means that you don't know what time you're in, and you speak in past tense. Like, dude, we just saw we watched the show. Remember, we watched it together at your house on your 4K TV
No,
a few months ago.
we didn't.
Ryan
No,
was
my
there.
God.
because it still hasn't. Because the reason why we didn't do that was because we just got the trailer like a couple months ago, and it was awesome, and it looks great, and it looks like we all love it, and we know who's going to be the voice actor, which is a great pick, as we all know.
That person.
But of course, we haven't seen it yet.
I don't know.
Anything you want to say to future
And I
Ryan?
think the movie comes out this year too. I'm kidding.
No.
All right, let's move on to
the movie then.
the movie.
So, what do you think we'll get as far as the movie regards in 2019?
Casting news. That's it. I don't think we're gonna see any kind. We might.
I honestly don't even know we're gonna see casting. News.
I think we'll get casting news. I think we will get a production date. Like they will start pre-production on this date, and
I think
that kind of
something
stuff.
like that. I think if, as far as what Kirkman was teasing or whatever, the news that's coming soon or whatever, or could be soon, is going to be like, oh yeah, we're working with this the company, blah blah blah. We're going to start pre-production or whatever production. We're going to start production, not pre-production. We're going to start production in the fall. You know what I
Pre-production
mean?
would be like casting and stuff.
That's what I
right?
meant. I'm
Okay.
sorry. We're going to start production in the fall. Is like the announcement. So I guess if they're starting production, they would have to have casting though.
Right.
Shit.
So we'll have
No,
casting.
pre-production is a part of pre-production.
That's what I'm saying.
Casting is a part of pre-production.
I know. I'm saying. I was saying that they were going to start production.
See,
So no.
that's what you're saying is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I know.
we're gonna get casting news and then get a production start.
It's
date.
weird because in my mind, I can see them working on this movie and filming this movie easier than I can see them announcing casting. For some reason, my brain just can't comprehend. Like,
So do you think that they're gonna?
here's a casting announcement.
You
I
think
can't
that there's
imagine.
going to be human beings on an Invincible set?
Oh my god!
This
In 2019, that's a good question.
No fucking way.
I
no
don't
way.
think, I don't know.
No way.
No.
We will get pre-production. We will get maybe 1 or 2 castings this year, maximum.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think there will be people on set in 2020 for a release in 2021?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
If not, it's not
happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Seth Rogen just came out with something else. Like, I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down. But like, stop doing things. Like, seriously. Like, he's releasing things that I didn't even know about. Like, that were never announced. And he's like,
know,
by
right?
the way, we're doing this, and it's done. It's releasing like in a couple months. I'm like, what? Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know how he has
you
the time.
release something, do that, and then go to your other projects.
Yeah.
Like, shit, man.
The thing that we forget or don't think about often, which I feel like might be a factor, he's not doing everything. Just because he's heading up the Invincible movie, with what's his name?
Goldberg.
Yeah,
Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg doesn't mean like they have people that they trust and they work with to work on. Like, he could be like saying, hey, can you work on this, or can you find that? Like, he's working with casting people. He's not. Seth Rogen isn't casting people.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean.
Well,
like,
it might even be kind of out of his hands now, because Kirkman said at New York Comic Con that the script is written, it's done, it's finalized.
you're right. If once he writes a script, do we know if they're directing?
Who? Yeah, they're directing.
They're writing. They're writing and directing. Oh,
yeah.
so shit, dude. They're in it for the whole thing.
I don't know if we know that.
I think they are writing, directing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds familiar.
Okay.
I think they have the rights to it. But
I have something that I was looking for, and I found it kind of. So, but this is a TV show. So, what do you guys think takes more time to make, an animated series or a filmed TV show with a high production
Animated
cost?
series.
With a high production cost.
Animated series.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
I know animated series are extremely expensive and time consuming to make.
So I don't remember. I was trying to find out when the Walking Dead show was announced. I remember where I was. I don't remember what. Like, I was at Red Robin with Liz and Chad, and I cried. I remember that. So principal photography for the pilot episode began on May 15th of 2010. The first episode premiered in October of the same year. So they started production and it released.
TV shows are a lot different than movies, though.
But I'm not talking about movie. I'm talking about the animated show.
Oh yeah, but animated takes a long time. But we know. I mean, we have to think that they've been working on the animated show for at least what.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what
months.
the fuck are people doing right now? They're not just like talking about it. Hey guys, someone's working on it. There's
it's got to be 2019.
Yeah,
dude.
it's got to be 2019. Like, we got news the beginning of last year.
I don't know. It's one of those things that we've been doing this for so long. I can't see anything happening. This is our life now.
We're gonna get a trailer, and then months later, we're gonna get the release of the show.
January of 2020 to the earliest.
No, that's a cop out. You can't say that.
What?
That's a cop out, and you know it is.
1 year? No, it's not. You're saying, so now you're copping out and saying, well, the beginning of 2019 is also a part of 2020 is also a part of 2019.
No.
So you're extending your bet.
No, I'm saying we're going to get the show in its entirety in 2019.
I'm saying we're not getting it in 2019, period.
I have another thing if we're off of animated show and movie. Because I think we're pretty set on our final movie predictions, is that maybe some casting, that's pretty much it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys think we will see Cory Walker in another comic book in 2019?
Yes.
You think Cory Walker is next?
He's working on something.
Yeah, I know. He said that he's working on something at Luca or whatever.
He is working on something entirely his own, isn't he?
We don't know what he's working on. He didn't say.
Is it a collaboration?
He just said it's something that people are familiar with.
Destroyer was real. Oh, I remember you saying that now. I do.
So, Destroyer was awesome.
Destroyer was fucking awesome.
I want to read that again. Do you think we'll see his thing in 2019?
Yes.
Cory Walker, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think so too.
Again, because Ryan Ottley finished Invincible, and within 4 months... Oh, no, we got announced... Oh, yeah, within the same year. We saw his art.
Mm-hmm. What about another Invincible action figure?
Yes.
I don't think...
Another?
I don't think that we're gonna get anything
Any merch?
until the show is like announced.
So do you think
Like-
the next
like
time we
the-
get real Invincible merch, it will be
will be
based on something
Animated
else?
show, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
I disagree. So that's one prediction,
Okay.
and I'm gonna add on to that prediction
Uh-huh.
and say it's Thrag.
Oh.
Thrag or Battle
I'm going to
Beast.
say Battle Beast. Yeah, I was going to say Battle Beast.
It's going to be one of the two. I feel like Thrag
Or
because
Alan.
It's Dinosaurus.
I feel like they have to have a villain.
Yeah. But Alan makes sense. But you're right. I feel like they do need a villain. Dude, Angstrom would make an awesome action figure.
Wouldn't it make sense
he
that
would.
Conquest,
Oh, shit. It's probably Conquest.
right? Like if you're gonna make a villain, like you would choose Thrag. Over
I think it'd
Conquest?
be...
But Thrag, I felt like, was the villain of the story.
I feel like if this figure was released during the End of All Things time, it would have definitely been Thrag. But now that looking back at the series as a whole, I think it's going to end up being Conquest.
Maybe.
Or Nolan.
Conquest is the big seller. If they're trying to make money,
Yeah.
it would be Conquest. I agree.
Yeah. Any other predictions for 2019? Anything else?
No.
You think? Anything you want to say to your future self? before
Bill,
we
I'm
go
glad
on?
that you were right about the animated show.
Man,
I'm happy
you know how
stood
fun
your
that's going to
ground.
be when that comes out in 2020 or 2019, where we're going to get to do an episode of this podcast for each episode and talk about each one.
Yeah. This
I
year.
can't wait.
It's
Not
crazy this
not
year.
Invincible related, but
I can't
we're
wait.
gonna get something Oblivion Song as well.
Ooh.
We will.
News?
No, it's gonna go into other media.
Wait,
You think we're gonna
just
have
announcement
Oblivion
of it.
Song?
No, no, an announcement that it's
Yeah,
gonna
okay,
be
That's what I mean.
something
News.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, we already know that. Kirkman.
honestly,
hasn't Kirkman already said
honestly,
that?
I'm behind a few issues. I could totally see Die 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 being something else.
Die 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 could be easily adapted into like a Lionsgate film.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But is
Yeah.
it too similar to like a...
No.
No?
No.
God, it's so
So, like-
crazy.
Yeah.
A couple little details I wanted to throw out there. In 2018, we recorded 21 podcasts. 2 of them were Super Fight episodes. 2 of them were character discussions. Do you guys remember which 2?
It was
Battle Beast.
character discussions.
Battle Beast was one of them.
and Robot.
Nope. We
Was it
haven't done a
Robot?
robot one.
Didn't we do a Robot?
Nope.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Invincible.
Nope.
Alan? It wasn't
Nope.
Alan.
Nope.
What was it?
Oh, it was Angstrom.
Nope.
Oh wait, no.
we
fuck.
did do an Angstrom though.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In 2018.
Oh shit.
Monster Girl.
Nope. We
wasn't?
still haven't done a Monster Girl one.
What fucking character discussion was it?
We did. We said Battle Beast, right? 'Cause-
Oliver.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
God.
right. That's right.
Woo, man, my
got
brain
there.
was gonna fucking explode from that one.
That was yep. It feels like we always do more of those. The next one will be Dinosaurus. We had
Hear that, TJ? You fucking hear that? There's a lot to go by too, bruh.
the night we had 2 guests as the main. I mean, not counting our issue 50. I'm sorry, episode 50. We had Jen Druchniak and Travis Johnson on. Those are fairly recent too. We did 7 tie-in episodes. We talked about Guarding the Globe, Invincible Universe,
Fucking Tech Jacket.
Capes, Tech Jacket, Invincible Presents, and Science Dog. Which of those is your favorite?
Read them again.
Guarding the Globe,
Okay.
Invincible Universe, Capes, Tech Jacket, Invincible Presents, and Science Dog.
Tech Jacket.
I would also. We talked about this. Tech Jacket, just because it was. I mean, it was longer. It was a whole series, pretty much. But Science Dog was so like complete and so concentrated in its awesomeness.
Yeah,
But Tech Jacket.
yeah. I loved Invincible Presents. Just more.
It was really good. That came out after Guarding the Globe, right?
We read it after Guarding the Globe, but it came out way before.
It did it?
Mm-hmm.
Which
This was the one with the origin stories of Adam, Eve, and Rexplode and stuff like that. I just liked all that stuff. And then we did 8 other episodes, which were our final predictions for the final issue. I was talking about the final cover, our big issue 144 episode, the new reader finale. We had Liz and Brittany in here this year. We did our Blood and Guts episode. We did a What If episode. We had an episode all about the animated series announcement. And then we had the New York Comic-Con episode. So yeah, 21 episodes. Hopefully there's more than 12 in 2019, because that would mean that the animated series or other crazy shit dropped.
So speaking of 2019 and speaking of Comic-Cons, will you guys be joining me this year? Are we going to New York Comic-Con?
Dude, I want to go to San Diego.
I'll go. Fuck it. I'll go to San Diego. You guys want to go to San Diego?
If I want,
we gotta start planning it now.
I know. This is what I want, TJ. I
also want to go to Emerald City, which is in 2 months.
Oh shit! I want somehow there to be an announcement. I just want someone to say, hey, you're gonna want to be.
You're gonna
want to be there.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go there.
Like, we went to San Diego and then there was fucking awesome news at New York.
That's what. Oh yeah, exactly. I don't want to go to San Diego Comic-Con and then just be like, yeah, nothing to announce yet.
And no one was there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I do. But if I do want to go, if there's like Kirkman on stage revealing the trailer to the animated series, and like Seth Rogen comes out on stage and says that he's playing Mark Grayson, like I want to be there for that.
Dude, the thing is, though, that they never announce anything at San Diego. They always do New York.
I mean, kind of. This year was just, it's kind of, they were both the same. That was the problem.
Do you guys think that we will get premiere passes, Hollywood, red carpet premiere passes to go see the Invincible movie?
I'll put it this way. If we don't, we're still going to be there. I'm going to make a point to be there. I mean, we'll be the idiots on the side of the carpet. You know what I mean? Like, we'll make a point to be there. But I'd love to.
That will be fun.
You know? I think that does it. Anything else?
I got a little something.
What? Oh, you walked in with some artwork.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
So I got so Felix Ottley released through Felix. What was it? Issue 1.
It was 2 random pages or 2 random issues.
22. I want to say. I think he released a couple from 101 too, unless they were just old. Mm-hmm. But I ended up getting from 122 when they were on 120. 122, yeah.
Sick.
Of Oliver and Mark flying. They see an illegal Kanslak farm, and they go and like bust it up.
Shit, what does that monster keep saying?
Oh,
Rylax. Yeah. It's like Rylax or something.
Yeah, the one
like
that was like endangered or something like that he said was endangered. Oh, you got the ink?
So I got
too?
the pencils and the inks.
Did it come together?
Yep.
Yeah, they usually come as a set like this.
Yeah. So now I'm up to 12 pages of Invincible.
Man, that's so cool.
And I like
that's such
what
a
stood out is him coming out, but also like the level of detail inside of the town that he drew.
The Kanslak farm.
Yeah, if you want to reference it, it's page 122. Or I'm sorry, issue 122, page 13.
It's Oliver flying, looking like a badass, and then doing a superhero landing with Mark.
I'll post it too. We'll post it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
awesome, dude. Congrats on that. That's cool.
I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about too. I mean, we talked about on our other one, but I'm reading Middle West, which is awesome. I think you guys should read it. It's only 2 issues in, and the art
we still have a lot more of this podcast to go.
Gorgeous. Oh, I thought we were wrapping up before.
Oh no, TJ.
No, wrapping up before we go into
no. We'll talk about other stuff at the end.
Okay.
But we've got to go into our rereader for Volume 5. This is trade paperback Volume 5 called The Facts of Life. Did you guys ever watch that show?
No.
Again,
I didn't know that it was a show.
Yeah, all these trade paperbacks are based off of shows. I don't know much about Facts of Life.
I know it's a show.
Yeah, that's all I really know.
Like
I don't know anything.
80s.
Yeah. This covers issues 20 to 24 as well as issue 0. And in the back of issue 24 is the Secret Origins backup. Other than the Secret Origins issue, it's the same team. We've got Robert Kirkman writing, Ryan Ottley is the penciler, Bill Crabtree is still the colorist, and of course Russ Wooten coming in as the letterer. Starting off with issue 20, Bill, where do we start off with that one?
We get where the last issue left off, where Eve wanted to meet up with Mark, and she said that she was quitting.
Yep.
The team or whatever. She was quitting being a superhero, pretty much.
Like what we've seen these last couple rereads was Eve kind of not watching, but like seeing Mark and Amber together and being clearly upset about that, and the breaking up with William, and this kind of comes to a head with her telling Mark that she feels like she could be doing more.
Yeah, she kind of goes into what her powers actually are.
Oh yeah.
So she's like, "Do you even know?" She's like,
"I asked Rex once,"
and he just thought that I could make pink stuff float. And she's like, "Man, he was an idiot." But yeah, that she finally goes into detail about what her powers mean, meaning that she can rearrange atoms, hence being called Adam Eve. She talks about how she can turn a rock into an apple, and she feels like she can, like Mark's powers are more geared around you should be here, you should be saving people like you're doing, but my powers can be more suited like helping people overseas and like fixing the world and saving people that way.
Didn't we learn that Eve is like really fucking smart too? Like, because in order to know how to turn a rock into an apple, you need to know what an apple is made of, what atoms need to be. So she's like,
I think that's part of her
power.
Her power
She
is
just
that she's
understands it.
innately aware of all the chemical compositions of everything.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
And Mark is completely open to it and understanding. And she thought
there's a moment between them right before she leaves.
Right. Well,
he says he's gonna miss her.
He's very understanding, and she thought that he was gonna be like kind of like fight it, but then they hug, and she says, "Mark, I ... and then she sighs, and then he goes, What is it?" And she goes, "It's nothing. It's I'll see you later, Mark." And then she just leaves.
Yeah.
So she was gonna tell him,
Yeah.
like, I have feelings for you.
Mm-hmm. That reminded me a lot of later on in the future issue, like where they come from the other dimension future. You know what I mean? And she tells him to say something.
Short hair.
Yeah. Then we get throughout this volume, we peek in with Engstrom and the Maulers, and the Maulers are working on the device for Engstrom. He makes Why the Last Man references here, and it's funny.
Does he?
Yeah. He says that
virus.
He cleared out. They're explaining where all those other angstroms are, and he says they're in a dimension where it destroyed
all men.
Yeah.
The virus killed the Y chromosome.
The Y chromosome.
Anything with Y chromosome. Yeah.
Then we see our boy Ben over in England.
Oi.
With the I should be following along in mine. I have it right in front of me.
We just referenced this on
the Pop Love podcast.
Yeah. This is my favorite thing in the entire trade paperback.
What, the hat showing up?
Yeah.
Oh hell, the Sky God's chosen one. And
so they're worshiping the garbage bag.
Yeah.
That Mark threw in
they have
the
like
first
this
issue.
Candlelight vigil around it.
That came out of nowhere, came from the sky, and there's this guy who's like, "Why are you guys worshiping this thing? Like, it's just a bag of garbage." And by the looks of it, it looks like it's American, because obviously, I mean, it shows the London clock tower that you know that they're in London.
Hey, Ryan Ottley, I have a question for you. There's a panel on this page that it looks like Mr. Bean is on. That's Mr. Bean.
Where?
In the Candlelight Vigil.
Kind of.
Right there.
I don't know.
Tell me that's not
that
Mr.
totally
Bean.
is.
You think
I think
it
it is.
That's 1,000% Mr. Bean.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so they're worshiping the garbage bag, and he's like, "It's just a garbage bag. By the looks of it, it's American." And then out of nowhere, he gets hit in the head with the
graduation cap.
The graduation cap that he threw in issue 16 when he graduated. 16, I want to say. And then all the people of the town now think of him as like a god.
Yeah.
That he was chosen.
He was chosen. Yep. We've got Mark eating lunch with his mom. His mom says she's gonna start doing taking real estate classes. Then there's that awesome. You talked about this panel on Pop Love Podcast as well.
Yeah,
I love this conversation.
So William and Mark are on the phone. William's like, "When are you going to move in to the dorm? We start classes tomorrow. I need to stay up and give you a key." And he's on the phone, and Mark is unbeknownst to William, unbeknownst, is on the phone with him at the same time, setting the phone down and moving boxes in slowly. which is just really,
it's such
really
a
funny.
great
Yeah.
visual gag in the comic. Yeah, we get introduced to Rick Sheridan. He's taking the same class as Mark. D.A. Sinclair walks in and kind of talks back to the teacher. Then a Reaniman attacks again in the same place that the last time this happened. Amber's pissed off because Mark apparently just took off and then showed up again. Like it looks like he abandoned her. Well, this thing attacked.
Typical, like, you know, superhero, where'd my boyfriend go?
Yeah,
He's a coward kind of thing.
Yep. The Reaniman breaks free from Mark and falls to his death. Amber's upset with him. And then at the end of this issue, we just see D.A. Sinclair say that he wants to test on a live subject. He also brings up the fact that, and I thought this was interesting, rereading it as someone who knows what's going on. He says, luckily, for whatever reason, whoever is discovering what's left of my labs is not reporting it. I'll have to look into that eventually. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody discovering his old labs and not reporting on it.
Cecil.
Is that Cecil?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Cecil.
it could just be a throwaway thing that's like, oh, good thing the janitor is not reporting anything. But, like, it's got to be Cecil, right? That kind of makes sense.
Probably.
Issue 21. I love this issue. This is a really cool issue with Darkwing. It's pretty straightforward, though. Darkwing is kind of gone rogue. Before Cecil sends Mark into Midnight City, we find out that the Maulers are close to finishing what they're doing, and we also find out that Cecil is watching them and keeping an eye on them. Otherwise, this issue is mostly Mark in Midnight City, dealing with Darkwing, and Darkwing is like, he's standing on this rooftop. He just killed the two guys that we saw last time we saw Midnight City in issue 7. And Mark's like, hey, so what happened to those guys? They're
Yeah. This was kind of stupid and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Invincible was like, oh, hey, you knocked those guys out. What'd they do? Oh, wait, they're dead.
Yeah.
Why aren't you chasing the killer?
Yeah, so where's
Like,
the killer?
yeah.
Why are we just standing here? Shouldn't we go after the bad guy?
And then Cecil is in his ears like, he did it.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, you need to get after him.
It's like, oh, right. Oh, this is embarrassing.
So the original Darkwing had no powers. It was literally Batman.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this Darkwing
Has
what was his name?
Night Boy.
Night Boy.
And he has a exoskeleton suit that gives him
A
strength. A little bit of strength. He's stronger.
strength, yeah.
And he also has the ability to go through shadows.
And enter.
The Shadowverse.
Right.
So, cool fight scene between the two of them. Mark ends up capturing him and bringing him to the Pentagon for Cecil. And then this issue ends with Robot kneeling down and the Blob
The first reveal of Rudy.
in the
right?
machine saying, let's get started.
Saying, okay, robot, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get started.
Man, that's such a great reveal. Such a cool tease.
Side note, do we ever find out where
Why and
Rudy
how he
came
ended
from?
up?
Yeah, do we know?
I mean, I think, man, well, within the next volume or two, we're going to get his origin. He does say that he was born deformed. I don't remember if he gives an explanation. We'll have to come back to that. I think it is next volume, though.
Okay.
22, fun cover, but everybody always, like, I remember there's people always confused about what they're looking at. I remember, I don't know if it was in the hardcovers or something where they talked about it. People always think that they're looking at someone walking in on them, but they're looking at his costume. Like, they're supposed to be surprised, well, like, mid-making out, like, pulling up a shirt. Oops, I forgot my costume on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I always took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So William, Richard, and Mark are out now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Richard and William...
Rick?
Or Rick, sorry, Rick.
Yeah.
Richard.
Become a thing, right?
Not yet.
But they do, right?
Eventually.
Oh, yeah,
That's
they
who
do.
down the
he's
line.
with?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep, this is them, like, starting to hang out. We get
And
a
they
lot
hate each
with...
other.
Yeah. We get a lot with Amber and her friends, and Amber getting pissed at Mark. we find out that Mark almost tells Amber, but he gets called away.
But he showed up in her room, and she's like, "How did you even get up here? We're on
very
the third
funny.
floor."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well," and then he gets a phone call from Cecil, and he's like, "This isn't a good time." And Cecil was like, "Well, there's lives at stake, so you need to take care of it now." He's like, "All right, you're right." And then he goes back out the window, and she runs to the window, and she sees that he's just gone.
Yeah. This issue is peak Amber. Rick Sheridan
Don't like her.
You don't like Amber?
don't
You know
like
what?
Amber.
I like Amber.
I like Amber.
This issue is the reason why I don't like her.
Why?
Really?
Because she's
Just
one of the
annoying.
reasons. No.
She's so annoying.
Okay, so Mark goes back.
Well,
First
before
of all,
that,
you're wrong.
Rick Sheridan gets knocked out.
Yeah.
We see Eve helping out in Africa. An awesome page. Maulers are still working on it. Okay. No, there's still a lot that happens before that.
Oh, okay.
Amber invites her friend Bridget over, and there's a ton of dialogue here.
This is why I don't like her, because
Really?
like she's going through all this stuff, and like it's just prediction after prediction, and she's just running on and on and on. Like, just get to it. Get to the point of what your prediction is, or what you think is going on.
She thinks that he's a drug dealer, but that doesn't make sense.
But she doesn't get to the whole drug dealer thing until
the next time they talk.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like all this dialogue, and she's just like explaining, like she's talking about how when the Reaniman, the
attack.
Reaniman first attacked, he disappeared and then like showed back up. She's just talking about like, oh, his dad died, he's acting differently, and I don't know.
I think it was fine.
She just drove me nuts here.
I like this single page
She talks about. She says, "I'm serious. I think my boyfriend's a superhero."
at the restaurant when they continue
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
That's
but
that's later.
yeah, he's talking about that section.
You're way ahead of us.
I liked the Art and Debbie conversation over like they were drunk. Like this is them drunk, and Art says, "Do you miss him?" And she thinks he means Mark, and she's like, "Yeah, I miss him. I don't see him as much as I used to. The house is empty." And he's like, "No, do you miss him?" And she's
Nolan.
and she said that I miss the Nolan that I knew, but that Nolan wasn't real. And then Art being like, "I miss Nolan. I miss my friend." You know what I mean? Like that's it's just a cool scene.
He said he was a good friend, and you can't fake that.
Yeah.
Not
And-
the way that he acted towards me. He was my friend. He couldn't fake. He couldn't have faked everything. Not everything. We get more with Monster Girl. Rex's.
he suggests that
Or
she
not Rex, robot.
Oh, that's weird. He suggests that she uses bulletproof suit because he's still knocked out from the fight with Battle Beast or a vegetable. But then, this is the scene with Bridget and Amber, and this is when she gets more into it. She talks about how the Reaniman attacked, and Bridget's like, "Well, maybe he's the superhero," and like Amber's like, and then she's like goes on and on about him jumping out the window and talking into his ear, and Bridget's like kind of, he's probably just a superhero. And Amber's like, you know what? No, never mind. I gotta go.
Well, she's like, Bridget laughed about it. She's like, yeah, you're probably a superhero, ha ha ha. And she's like, actually, I think he is. And she's like, come on, he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
You're not that lucky.
And then she even goes on to say like Nolan died the same time as Omni-Man died.
Yeah, and then Bridget's like, there you have it. There's no way that they can be the same person. She's like, no, that's why they can be the same person. And then Amber straight up was like, laughed it off. She's like, ha ha ha, yeah, you're right. That's stupid. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Meaning like, she's
I
trying to
think
cover
that's
it
a
up.
great. I mean, it's 4 pages, and it's a logical progression of how she gets from point A to point B. This is a comic book all about
But the journey.
So what? Nah, that's fine. And we got that great scene of them in the bedroom when Mark finally does tell her, because he doesn't get to tell her. She just calls him out on it.
She grabs an arm and says, "Tell me you're invincible right now, or I call the police."
I'm invincible. But yeah, cool scene between the two of them. Russ Livingston got fired from NASA because he's the Sequid guy. It's Shapesmith. Other than that, Mark, reveals to Amber he's in his costume. This issue again ends with D.A. Sinclair, but the live subject that he was referring to last time is Rick Sheridan.
Yeah.
And it looks messed up, man. His whole arm is gone. Got this huge thing plugged into his chest.
Oh, he talks about the pain.
Oh.
Like how, he's getting cut into, but with no kind of... We find that out after
he's saved.
Yeah.
We're going to do a quick detour into issue 0. We don't have to go over all of this because...
Or any of it.
Yeah, it's just Mark on the bed. Now, for what it is, this is a recap issue for new readers to jump on and be all caught up. Mm-hmm. But instead of just a boring, just recap thing, this is a really, really well-written way of doing it. Like,
It's a recap from Mark's perspective.
Yeah, and, it's all these events.
He cries and gets emotional and stuff over it.
Amber at some point tells him to stop. You don't have to keep doing this. He's like, no, I need to do this. I'll never get through it if I don't. And this is a big moment for their relationship, a big moment for Mark to kind of, move on, kind of, in a way. All while giving us just exposition. So...
Oh, they say that they love each other here?
Oh, yeah.
For the first time?
Yep. And not only that, think about this. Ryan Ottley pretty much had to draw an entire issue of two people talking. Mm-hmm. And it's good. He did good. Issue 23 is Alan issue. And I love this gag. We were talking about gags on the Pop Love podcast of the whole, Amber and Mark, let's give them some privacy and turn our attention towards space. Yeah. So we get some Alan kind of origin story about how the Unopens. Do you say Unopens or Unopens?
I say Unopens.
Unopens?
Yeah.
I say Uno, one eye.
I always say you.
You can say you. There's nothing that says you can't say you know.
Yeah, there is. there's a language that says you can't.
Unopens?
Uno.
Unopians?
Unopens.
The Unopen leader. The Unopen leader. Now I think...
Unopen sounds better.
What does?
Unopen. What you're saying sounds better. Unopen. Unopen.
Unopen sounds like you're... Yeah.
So yeah, we find out about their race was destroyed by the Viltrumites, but a few of them survived, and they started breeding camps and started to genetically modify in order to enhance them to be able to be better fighters to withstand the Viltrumites. And they all failed except for Alan. At one point, I thought that was interesting. At one point, Alan fought against Viltrumites and got his ass kicked. And since then
he always gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
every time he goes to Earth.
Well, before he becomes the champion evaluator, he fought Viltrumites to test out his strength as what he was bred to do, and he got destroyed. So instead, they gave him the job of going around and testing and searching for people who could fight Viltrumites. And then he went on and fought, Nolan and Urath and all that fun stuff that y'all know. And so we get introduced to the coalition of planets, Telescria. He shows up. We get a little peek at the guys from Star Trek there, and he goes to the council where we see the representative from Galdaria.
Mm-hmm. And Battle Beast.
And a Battle Beast tribe, yeah. And there's also another Unopen there. He explains who Mark is, and that they're gonna, that it's interesting, and they're gonna look into it further. We get introduced to Talia, his girlfriend. They end up doing it, and there's a great gag that, since Mark is busy and Alan is busy, I guess we'll just sit here and wait.
And wait.
And then there's Alan and Talia are eating at a restaurant. We get a great Cancelock moment. And that's when he's suddenly and violently attacked by two Viltrumites.
Can we talk about Thaddeus?
What else did they go over? I know he informed him about Mark and everything, but what else was in there?
No, did we talk about the fact that that's Thaddeus?
No.
Well,
no, but that's Thaddeus at the council.
Yeah, I mean he's a
huge part.
He's a huge part in the history of the Viltrum Empire and everything. So he's the one that broke out.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't get the reveal yet.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, he's the leader of the coalition, or at least the council of the coalition. When Alan's attacked by the two Viltrumites, we find out in this issue that there's a mole on the council, and it got back to the Viltrumites, and so they attack Alan, and they want to know everything about this, about Nolan, basically. Where is he? Where did he go? the offspring, the heir. Are you sure about this? Alan makes a joke that all
Viltrumites look
look the
alike,
same.
or all you
Cyclops.
Cyclopses.
Yeah.
And then one of the first really gory moments, right? Like, is this the 1st time we see guts?
Intestines, yeah.
And like a popped eye.
Yeah, it's bad. Alan gets his arm.
Oh man, the arm.
His arm. They grab his arm and chop it off.
And he's left there. But he survives. Thaddeus tells him that there's a mole, and this could very well be the beginning of the end. And then the issue ends with Mark waking up the next morning after spending the night with Amber and flying home with a big stupid smile on his face.
Did Mark just lose his...
No, we find out in this issue that they didn't.
They didn't do it.
Yeah, because he talks to William about it.
Okay.
So, issue 24, a very cool cover. I really like this cover. A lot of red and black. The perspective is pretty neat, too. It starts with a quick costume change. A really subtle thing that Mark will no longer have the cutouts in his legs, in the boots. And
Yeah, it was like only one part of it, right?
yeah, like if you look back...
Right here, it's on the cover. You can kind of see it.
Yeah. It's like this little patch. It almost seems like that was a decision that like Ottley would make. You know what I mean? Like, just it's unnecessary. Just simplify
Why
this.
is it there?
Or Cory
It wouldn't
Walker.
be
You know
there,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, just be like, yeah, just write it into the story that Art made an adjustment. You know. Mark goes and talks to Debbie. Debbie is pissed off that Mark told Amber,
Which I think is really hypocritical.
and he calls her out on that.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, you told, what's her name? Claire?
Yeah.
She's like, well, Claire's married to a superhero. It's different. I don't know. I don't think she's crazy.
But
because
she
who
didn't-
is Amber to her? Debbie doesn't know who Amber is. It's just some girl he's seeing in college.
Yeah.
You can't just go around telling everybody.
Yeah, but it's his to tell. She went ahead and told Claire without even talking to
Yeah,
Mark.
and it's a tough subject because he's also at that age where if he had been like a couple years younger, she's the parent. She should be the one keeping him.
Not only that,
teaching him who he can be.
Not
who he
only
can be
that, but
revealing
Mark
into.
and Amber have been dating for a while, and this is something that he originally kept from her. The day that Debbie met Claire, she was like, "Hey, let's go have coffee. By the way, my husband was, Omni-Man, and my son is Invincible."
Yeah.
Like, that's really hypocritical.
This is a scene where it's him and William. William gives him shit about not coming home last night. And he's like, oh my God, you made up with Amber. You were with her. You guys finally did it. And Mark says, no, we didn't. We did make up, though. I stayed in her room last night. But you didn't? And he's like, no, we didn't. And then he gets called away. Other than that, we're at the Angstrom fight. Or I should more accurately say the Mauler fight. The Angstrom origin, yeah. So Angstrom connects all the devices across all the dimensions with all the different Angstrom levies. Mark goes in to stop it. He got notified because Cecil had been monitoring it. And in a really cool twist that I remember not expecting,
all the Maulers.
All the Maulers from all the dimensions come in. That's such a cool...
Because the entire time, all you see is just the two.
But there is one moment when there's a cut to them during this volume where they say, oh, and thanks for all the additional help. It's been... We wouldn't have done this so quickly without them. And you don't know what they're referring to. I thought that was really cool. So yeah.
Yep.
They get... Mark gets his ass kicked. He's...
They're killing him, and Angstrom keeps saying, "Don't kill him. Like just keep him away.
I will
Just keep
not
him
have
away."
my greatest achievement sullied by this child's blood on my hands or something like
he's
that.
He's really concerned for Mark's life. He doesn't want him to die.
Mm-hmm. But they don't. The Maulers don't care. They're going to kill him.
Yeah, because the Maulers, like they said, like in our dimension, one of them said, and he's like, I never met him he didn't exist in our dimension. And then another one was like, he died 5 months ago in our dimension, and we didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And then Mark's like, that doesn't sound good, and they all attack him. So they all hate him.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to attack him. They're all killing him. They're taking advantage of the fact that of the situation.
Mm-hmm. So Angstrom goes to pull the helmet off
in order to stop them from killing Mark. and one of the Maulers looks up and says, "No, you don't do that. You can't interrupt the process." But by then it's too late, and there's a big explosion. And
I've always liked how Mark looks coughing on this page for some reason.
yeah.
Just that real shadowy black and bloody. Yeah. All the Maulers are turned to ash. The teen team shows up, helps Mark, says that everybody's dead, but out from the rubble comes one sole Mauler, because during the fight, the two original Maulers that were helping get punched out of the area, so they're far enough away that only one of them dies and the other one is half scarred. And turns out that Angstrom survived as well. Angstrom crawls out of the rubble, and the Mauler basically reveals to him that he is deformed. Angstrom is confused and angry that he is deformed and blames it on Mark. He says,
He
I
remembers
remember
it differently.
Yeah, he's saying, I remember the boy. He must have stopped it. He was trying to stop it. He did this to me. And I know, and it did work in a way, though. He does have all the knowledge of all the dimensions. And so he leaves this dimension to seek out better medical technology in another dimension. And
He said that I instructed the Maulers to kill him, which is not what
not
happened.
the case.
So it didn't only make him, remember it wrong. It made him evil.
Yeah. Yeah, it made him want to kill him.
Yeah.
And so that's what he goes out to do. And it ends with the last Mauler pissed off at him for leaving him stranded. As far as the origins, we've talked about these a bunch. I love the Monster Girl origin with the gypsy or whatever putting a curse on her. I like seeing the young Monster Girl.
Yeah, I
because
like that too.
Isn't that cool? Because they say as she got younger, the monster grew stronger. So
Well,
it
each
only
time
makes
she
sense.
transformed, the monster got stronger and
Yeah.
she got younger.
Yeah, which makes sense knowing what we know about baby Monster Girl being a giant and fully grown Monster Girl as of this. The monster looks just like a normal person almost. We see the Rexplode origins that
What I
we
like
get.
about the Rexplode one, let's go back one. Go back a page. Is that the page is the same page, only from different angles. Everything's the same. And they do the same thing in the Invincible recap too. Or the
with the Adam
origins.
Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, that's what I meant, the Adam Eve one. Which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And then the Immortal, little peeks at who he's been in his past life.
That's where we find out he was Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
Or they
Insinuated. And then that's also our first look at a relationship between him and Duplicate. Because as far as we knew, she was seeing Rexplode.
Yep.
Then Duplicate and the Multipol origin, which we never knew there was a Multipol. So they introduced us to that. And then the Adam Eve origin, which gets expanded on in Invincible Presents Adam Eve and Rexplode. That's it.
That's it.
Volume 5. Next up, Volume 6, which we're going to Africa.
That's when
Well, we were at Africa.
Yeah,
That's
but
when
I
they
think
go
like
to
when
Africa,
Mark and
though.
Amber go. I don't know. We're getting close to that. If it's not 6, it's soon. That does it for this episode, though. Next month we're going to be back with being February and Valentine's Day. We're going to be back with an episode all about invincible relationships. So if you're listening to this, you got this far. I'll also put it out on. Oh shoot! No, Volume 6 is Mark going to meet Oliver and Nolan and everybody. I always forget the name of that planet.
No,
it's not.
the Thraxians.
Thraxia. That's gonna be fun. Anyways, next month, February, Valentine's Day, we're gonna do an episode all about invincible relationships. So if you're listening to this, send in your thoughts. What's your favorite invincible relationship? What's a lovey-dovey moment that you like most? All that kind of good stuff. We're gonna get sappy next episode, and I think that's it. Email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can find our website at theinvinciblepodcast.com. Check us out. We are also the Oblivion Song Podcast. we end every episode with a song by Invincible fan Wyatt Layne. You can get his music over on iTunes and Apple Music and SoundCloud and Spotify. This month's episode is let's see, Genesis Does. I really like this one. This is an awesome song. So thank you, Wyatt Layne, for letting us use that. That does it, guys. We recorded for about 4 hours tonight. Go listen to Pop Love.
Yeah, check them out.
Because we're on it.
Because we're on it, and they have, what do they have? I think that's that podcast, because I think Sean has 2.
Oh, I think
at
so.
least.
Right.
But I think, from what I saw, there's 11 episodes, so it's an easy one to catch up on if you want to be a part of their
and they're really
journey.
cool.
They have 2 podcasts, and I don't know about the other one, but the one we recorded tonight is weekly.
Is it really? I didn't know that. Oh my god.
That's what he said. That's what I thought he said, unless I misunderstood.
Well, that's going live this Monday if you haven't. Otherwise, check it out. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night or good day.
And Happy New Year!
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
No, we're watching HGTV, and there's a show that we were watching, and it's called
A Pool in Our House.
A Pool in My House.
Yeah. No, it's just Pool in My House.
Oh yeah, that's it. Pool in My House. Like Ryan was like, "What is this show?" And I'm like, "It's called Pool in My House."
And I thought he was just fucking with me.
But I was serious. It's called Pool in My House. So we're making stupid jokes about like we're gonna make a show called it's like
I Have a Garage.
I Have a Garage.
Or it's terrible.
Check out my closet.
All right. Check out my closet.